9 minutes. Rabbi Omer, Ezer Derech Yishar Shelo Yodam. Rabbi, which means Yehuda Nasi, Judah the prince. By Klal Yisrael, going one Rabbi Omer, which is the proper path a person should choose for himself. Koshi Teferes Leiseho. He earns a credit for he himself, the way he conducts himself, the path that he chose. It's a person in Adam, and it earns him esteem in the eyes of his fellow man. I know we have quite a few young gentlemen here under the age of 20, maybe under 18, and they chose the proper path for themselves. It's an inspiration to see them to come down. So a person not wissen, I just know the limits, what and where. My mother was on money, and we had the cover to have the Rebbe, the Rayatz, Rebbe Yitzchak, Bavitch Rebbe, over 70 years ago. He was in our house in Neurach, and it was Shabbos, Friday night, and they wanted to sing Shalom Aleichem. So he said no. He said he heard from they told him from the Tzemach Tzedek that he had by him Orchim Friday night in the house, and they wanted to sing Shalom Aleichem. So Tzemach Tzedek said that the Malachim that you want to greet with Shalom Aleichem, they're not hungry, but the Orchim are hungry. So we'll set aside to Shalom Aleichem. There are people that just drove up and want to go home to eat supper, so we won't spend too much time. Just short our Torah. Eretz Ragban the spies set out, Losher's Horus, to bring back a report from Eretz Yisrael. Can they conquer? Will they be able to settle in Eretz Yisrael or not? So the report they brought back was a very negative, a dismal report. Amongst the things that they said, it's Eretz Oicheles Yeshvel. It's a land that devours, it eats up the inhabitants. The Targum says, Ar de Kotlet. It's a land that kills, the Haggis Havek mentioned. Rashi adds that the Homokim, wherever they went, so they witnessed, they saw that there were Levi's funerals, Macabre Mason, they were putting to rest people all over. So Rashi brings that Rabbi Fishbain did that intentionally, that they should, the inhabitants should be occupied in sorrow and tragedy and avelus, and therefore not take note of strangers coming spying on the land. Their life shouldn't be threatened. They're spying about, so you should be busy with their avelus, with their mourning. So instead, they misinterpreted it, and they read into it that here there's life is shortened. It's not for us. So in other words, they were missing emunah b'tachon. They were missing the Rabbi Shalom said that they'll be able to take it. They should go and take it. And here they misinterpreted in every stage of life. Emunah b'tachon is very important. There was a number of years ago, maybe some 30 years ago, there was a doctor's strike in Eretz Yisrael. A doctor's strike. So the Chevra Kaddish reported that the death rate dropped some 20% during the doctor's strike. Hill said to he said that Shema Kol Svocha Be'ir. He said when he heard there was a hysterical outcry. So his response was, Muftoch Shein Zeh Beisi. He's assured that this is not taking any tragedy, that there's coming out a cry, hysterical anguish. It's not from his house. The Gemara says that if someone, his wife is expecting, so he's masfal, it should be a boy or a girl. It's a tuli shock, whatever, because it already formed, whatever it is. So what's the pshat? He said, What the point here is that the chinuch, the way his family, the ruach, and what their outlook on how to accept things in life was such with a munah b'tochen. No matter what took place, no matter what kind of tragedy, what kind of grief took place, they should know that's Tzarus Hashem. This is something which was directed from up above. This came from the Rabbi Fishbain. We have to accept it. So even if there is a tragedy in his house, there won't be that kind of reaction. Change them base. The Gemara brings Amar al Chelboy. He says that a person should always be very careful in make sure you shouldn't miss the daven mincha. When he was a Sal Mincha, from all his tefillos until his mincha was answered. The Torah says, what's so special about mincha that there's such a big reward, a big schar for mincha? So the Torah says of the Torah that because mincha is different than shachris, the morning davening, and mariv at night, the last tefillah of the day. In the morning, the day didn't begin yet. You don't have your commitments. You're not involved yet. So b'meile, it's not that difficult to set yourself aside on 10,000 till and tell them to daven. Ma'ariv, again, the day ended. Shen Allah Asakim, your business, all the negotiation, everything that you have to do, you did already. So now you have time. You're not tearing yourself away from the midst of things. Mincha comes in the middle of the day. Here it requires a munah b'tochen to realize that even though you might be, if you sit by the telephone or you'll interview another, or some sort of other deal might negotiate, might come up, and you might therefore you'll have some sort of a loss. You won't make that profit. You won't make that deal, that lucrative deal. So that takes a munah b'tochen. So the mincha draws heavily on that resource. There was one one time that habitually was always late to his job. So the boss called him in. And he said to me, he says, I'm giving you a final warning. He says, you're disrupting the whole order of business here. And people are behind you, in front of you, you're in the middle of the line. If it happens one more time, you'll have to look for a job. Oh my, so he makes sure with zrizas, he sets his alarm clock for a half hour earlier, and they doesn't up it, he gets in the car and he's on the way. Mazel, he gets stuck in traffic. And the clock is ticking away, and he raises his eyes up. He says, Rabbi Shlem, please help me get through this traffic and find a parking place. I'll be more kavit to my Torah, I'll be more tzedakah, I'll my midas safe, I'll be nicer to my mishpachah, to my wife. Then he finds a parking space. The deal is off. The munah b'tochen has to be in all sorts of circumstances. We have it today also, someone that lost Haishubet Volari, a yid that was Moleh Begodish, Reb Mordechai David, Tag Alichin, Ganei Lamokim Nachmeschen, Chani Bakash Oimer, Rosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakish Yisrael, B'Tikoch, Kibul Am Terem Mitzvah Shenemar, Adonai Chovetz, Matzit.